So we're streaming.
Turn it off?
Yeah. I'm not using this device. Oh, me, I don't. Unless you need it for your prepared statements, which might be, I mean, that's great if you want.
The link is invalid, people are saying.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties coming, y'all, exclamation point. We're trying a new link, period.
Yeah. I just sent it there. Yep. So that those numbers and letters, you just put in where I copied and pasted. It's youtube.com/that like ID, and then it's live. It's
I didn't understand that.
okay. So did you get the email?
I did.
Okay. So it's youtube.com
Right.
/channel
Okay.
/ and then we put that string of letters and
I
numbers,
see. Okay.
and then /live. Okay.
youtube.com/channel/that/live.
Yep.
So
Yes, Chelsea.
once I get this set up, will you help me figure out how to send this link to my family?
Yes, maybe. I think so. Once it's where's it getting shared to? The event? Okay.
youtube.com/channel/
This ring light is pretty stellar.
Unmuted. We're unmuted.
All right, shall we?
Oh, wait, I'm going backstage.
Get backstage. Get backstage. You don't have to, Chelsea. You can just come on from wherever. That's cool. Get backstage. Get backstage. You don't have to, Chelsea. You can just come on from wherever. YouTube. Welcome to Kill 'em with Comedy, Level 3 April Fool's Day Comedy Showcase. We have special guest star Jake Ellison to play us in. We realized mid-talk that we couldn't actually use music streaming live to YouTube because copyright law would prevent that from happening. People at home, clap if you can hear me talk. You're all doing great. Great. This is how we will practice the response to everyone doing comedy this evening. We have a pretty solid lineup. I'm really excited to be sharing the comics that are up and coming in this area. I think Syracuse has such an untapped well of talent when it comes to stand-up comedy, and I'm really excited to be putting together a showcase for you. This could not have happened without the support and help of Huey Stonefish, Avery Stonefish, and Mirage Trams. This is the team we are putting together for Huey Stonefish Presents. We are a new company, an arts-based organization that is bringing LA talent, LA comedians, LA writers, LA performers, directors, teachers to Syracuse audiences and giving you curriculum that creates performers like the ones performing for you tonight. So let's all take a moment, just give a quick 5 to 10 seconds of applause for Huey Stonefish Presents and Stonefish Studios. Let's hear it. Come on. Come on. There's also a live audience in this room, a bunch of performers that will be performing for you today. I wrote jokes for the in-between parts, but they're all terrible. Luckily, I'm not actually one of the comedians. I'm just your host for tonight. As I promised, I want to make a very special announcement for all the people watching at home. For everybody who's been following and supporting Huey Stonefish Presents, thank you so much. This is the culmination of a curriculum called Kill 'em with Comedy. So this is level 3 for everyone who's been, oh my gosh, there's people in the waiting room. Thank you all for your support. No one's dead. Oh my gosh. All right. We haven't figured out how to hide non-video participants yet. So you may see other faces come up, and this is good. You will see some of the performers on their screens at home. You will see some of the performers right here sharing this space with me. Very exciting that we're figuring out technology and how to do comedy over Zoom. Ah, this is my life. All right. Wanted to say, the next offering that Huey Stonefish Presents is bringing to Syracuse audiences will be taught by Chris Trovadour. We are bringing a sketch comedy class, how to write and perform sketch comedy, to you, Syracuse and Central New York audiences. Chris Trovadour is a graduate of the very prestigious directors program at Second City Hollywood. I've been talking to him all week. He's an amazing teacher and an amazing comedian. Really excited that he's coming on to teach a class with us. So that starts April 18th. It's an 8-week program. Coming out of it, you're going to come up with 5 sketches, 2 of which are going to be ready to write and perform. And I'm just like really excited about that. I'm really jazzed about all the cool changes we have coming up. I'll tell you a little bit more about the programming coming up this summer at the end of the programming. But first, let me introduce to you our first performer. Yael Sar is the founder of Mama's Comfort Camp, an international peer support network for mothers. She teaches and she performs comedy for social change. She's the program creator of Motherhood is a Joke, now Motherhood is a Sick Joke, which holds an outdoor comedy showcase on May 8th. You can come see it in person, May 8th, the Saturday before Mother's Day at Firelight Camps in Ithaca. She has been compared to this generation's David Sedaris. I'm the only one who's made that comparison, I think. But she is a humorist. She is an orator. She is a teacher. She's my mom and yours. Everyone, please give it up for Yael Sauer.
Hello again. I'm Yael Sar, and I was born and raised in Israel. And now I live in Ithaca, New York, with my husband and 2 boys. I am a Jewish mother, um, but I'm just about the worst Jewish mother ever. And somehow that makes me a damn good Jewish mother. That right there is a Jewish mother's superpower. Holding contradictions and oxymorons. It makes us experts at handling life's nonsense, making Jewish mothers the most reliable source of mensches. That's Yiddish for kind, good humans of every gender. But I take contradictions to a new level. Having children made me utterly suicidal with postpartum depression. But having breast cancer had me fall head over heels in love with myself. Let's start with the kids. Here's a juicy contradiction for you. My kids are the best kids ever. And if you have kids, so are yours. Except quite often, my kids are the worst kids ever, which is something I will never, ever say about your kids. But don't worry, I love my kids to the moon and back, and they know it. It's other kids that I don't really like, and I don't like puppies or babies, and I'm allergic to cats. I'm actually most interested in mothers, which is why I founded Mama's Comfort Camp, an international peer support community that addresses the cultural problems that make postpartum depression so common. My email signature would get me booted out of whatever Jewish mother society I might try to belong to. It says, I'm a mama on a mission to remove guilt, shame, and blame from parenting. In 2019, we started Motherhood is a Joke, a writing program teaching the art of Rapunzeling, that is spinning motherhood struggles into comedy gold. Since the pandemic, we refer to it affectionately as Motherhood is a Sick Joke. Come see us perform on May 8th. It's going to be live, on stage, outdoors, with all the safety precautions in place on the Saturday before Mother's Day. In June, we will be starting our next online comedy writing class for Motherhood is a Joke Season 3. So if you're a mother or a grandmother and are interested in spinning your story into comedy, you can join us from anywhere in the world. My boys are growing on me. The firstborn is now a junior in high school, and his little brother is studying for the bar mitzvah. It's the Jewish coming of age that happens at 13. So my life is rubbing my nose in the horrible inevitable that all of my hard work and sacrifices won't prevent my babies from leaving me. Whatever made me think that teaching my kids to thrive without me is a good idea? I read so many parenting books, all manuals for planned obsolescence. Motherhood is a downward spiral from being the most important person in a child's life, the provider of all the ever-loving everything: dry diapers, nourishment, safety, guidance, discipline, transportation, clean clothes, Wi-Fi, to a non-essential worker. Considering parenting, your mission, should you choose to accept it, make progeny self-sufficient in 18 years. Good luck. My big boy is 17. Hold me. And here in Ithaca, we have 3 perfectly good universities in 1 zip code. But recently, Carnegie Mellon took over Cornell as his dream school. Really? Now I'm bargaining with God to go all Sodom and Gomorrah on Pittsburgh. It's crazy how fast it goes. It feels like only yesterday I was changing his diaper and he proceeded to pee right into my mouth. A graceful arc from the changing table, just like a homing beacon. My jaw dropped. What a rookie move. Learn from my mistakes, hum while diapering. But I never quite figured out how to change a diaper with my eyes closed. And back then, I didn't have glasses. So I can assure you that newborn piss will not blind you. The burn can be washed away from the eyeballs, but not from memory. Since then, said boy is old enough to clean the bathroom with extra care for the toilet bowl, of course, but he won't learn how to wipe away his toothpaste from the sink every morning. You win some, you lose some. Of course, I miss the sweetness of holding a newborn and inhaling the intoxicating smell of their milky little necks. And I sure miss the closeness of nursing, which I only got to have this special bond with my second son. You see, my first son couldn't nurse, and we tried for months. And I pumped, and he couldn't digest my milk, and he couldn't stomach formula, and it was hell on wheels. He couldn't eat properly and couldn't sleep more than an hour at a time, and we all got so miserable. And the pediatrician actually labeled him as failure to thrive. No wonder I got depressed. Come on, doctors, you have to find more supportive terminology. Mothering babies and toddlers was really rough on me. I much prefer mothering teenagers. I told you I was a weird mother. My teen boys are the most delightful and fascinating creatures I ever did see. So on top of my adventures in postpartum depression, now I'm suffering from pre-parting depression. Whenever the boys talk about college or other countries where they might want to live, I have to hide my tears. The irony is that I did this very same thing to my own parents. In 1992, I left Israel for art school in New York City. And they let me, they enabled me, paid my airfare and tuition. Heck, my dad drove us to the airport while my mother and I held hands and sang, "She's leaving home, bye bye." Gosh, Mom and Dad, I'm only now comprehending how noble that was. Thank you. I finally appreciate your sacrifice. But I still fantasize about tying my own children to my apron. The pandemic year brought so many big emotions and contradictions: fear, anger, disbelief, and disillusionment, which naturally triggered my vulnerability for anxiety and depression. And when I get depressed, it shows up as self-loathing. So all of a sudden, this Jewish mother noticed that I like my son's girlfriend more than I like my husband's wife, a sure sign that I need to take care of myself. By now, I'm feeling much better. In other news, I've been cancer-free for 2.5 years. I am leading with a happy ending, so you can breathe easy while I tell you about it. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in January 2018. Thankfully, it was detected early enough to have a good prognosis. Nevertheless, it was terrifying. The word cancer was distressing me and my children, so we searched for a better feeling word. We landed on another non-kosher sea animal, the oyster. The only one of God's creatures that turns its problems into pearls. Now we use the term oystering as a it's the intention of finding the diamonds in the shit piles while having full permission to feel all of our feelings. So I invite you to oyster in times of trouble. And don't get confused. This is very different from the platitude, "Bad things happen for a reason." Don't say that. Here's why. I refuse to believe that life pulls the rug from under our feet in exchange for a silver lining. Accidents and losses happen. They're not tests. It's just what being human looks like. Suffering is not God's way of forging you into a person worthy of good things and happy endings. Shit happens, and we get to hate it, we get to shake our fists and cry and be bitter, and we certainly don't have to pretend to be strong or serene. And if we show up for each other, if we truly listen, if we refrain from dishing unsolicited advice, and if we nourish each other with good food and real help, we will all find our footing and the diamonds and the pearls will be revealed. So the past year has been so hard on all of us, and for me, the inevitable consequence of quarantining with my loved ones is, well, hating them a little, especially when they ask me to feed them. What do you mean you're hungry? We both know I fed you yesterday. Well, popcorn is a whole grain. Go knock yourself out. And then there's the Scrooge of distance learning. Fuck distance learning. We have a once in a lifetime opportunity for up close learning, proximity learning. How about we forget algebra and learn how to chew quietly? How to load a dishwasher properly? Why is that so hard? But honestly, the most important skill we can learn from this time is to recognize that look on the faces we love. That means that they need us, desperately need us, to shut the fuck up. And last but not least, can my kids please relearn how to go to bed early? For fuck's sake. They are schooling from home and up at all hours of the night, and my sweet husband and I are never alone. Gosh, I miss sex. I miss sex almost as much as I miss that magnificent moment when my family closes the door behind them on their way out. And I'm finally alone in my quiet kitchen. I used to feel guilty for this sense of relief. Oh, the good old days when when housework was the only competition for my writing, and I had the privacy to cure a writer's block with self-pleasuring to jumpstart my creative juices. Now that I'm never alone, gosh, I miss orgasms. And solitude. Oh, how I miss solitude. Before the pandemic, I thought of myself as a total extrovert. But quarantine exposed the introvert I didn't even know I had in me. And she needs time away from other humans, even her most favorite humans, like she needs oxygen. And this, my friend, is the mother of all contradictions. But there's an end in sight. My husband and I got vaccinated, and the boys will get theirs soon. And hopefully by September, my husband and children will leave me alone for 5 days a week. I'll get my solitude, and they'll get so busy that I'll miss them while they still live here. In time, I will look back at the pandemic year like I remember the newborn years and my cancer year, a crazy roller coaster of contradictions and oxymorons, strung with pearls. Yes, there is so much pain and struggle, but the moments of love and connection shine brighter and last longer. We shall find the diamonds in the shitstorms. We are all in this together. Oyster on. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. All right, people at home, comment live if you can hear.
Oh.
All right. Oh, one more time.
Yes.
Beautiful. Wow. This is wild. Thank you everyone for your patience. The volume levels are going to be a little bit off from performer to performer as we go from, someone's computer microphone to the microphone setup we have here. I'm looking at myself on the screen, and it's so absurd to think that we have this set up in my home. It's just wacky. So thank you for sharing your evening with us. I want to tell you a little bit about our next performer before she comes on. Her name is, what?
I'm gonna come.
She's going to come. Chelsea Lembo. I first met Chelsea Lembo, who was in the waiting room. Oh my goodness.
Let him in.
Letting people into the waiting room.
Oh, I'm hijacking
This,
moment.
no, it
Sorry,
all
Eric.
makes sense.
I'm sorry, I'm hijacking your moment.
You don't need to apologize at all. Chelsea Lumbo. Oh my gosh. We've been friends for years. She has a very exciting venture going on right now. She has just started her own business. She has Evoke Creativity, which is a center out in Marcellus focusing on project-based learning and arts integrated education. I'm so proud to call her a colleague and a friend. She's genuinely one of the funniest people I know, and she has the most infectious laugh known to humans. Anyone I've ever met. It's impossible to be in the same room as Chelsea laughing and not also laugh. So she's your friend and mine. Let's please welcome Chelsea Lumbo.
Yeah, okay. I'm on, okay. Hey everyone. Oh wow, I'm live. Okay, so I don't feel prepared for this. I don't feel prepared for this. I don't feel prepared for life. I don't feel prepared for death. I don't feel prepared for anything, and it's terrifying me. There are people laughing here, in case you're wondering. Some people, anyway. So yeah, I don't feel prepared. I don't, and I'm terrified about it. I recently had the first panic attack I've had in a really long time, and for anybody who's ever had a panic attack, you know that you actually think you are going to die. And I had this panic attack as I awoke from a dream. I'm putting this down because I just keep on looking at that. I don't want to look at that. It's there if I need it. So I was in a dream, and I don't even remember what I was dreaming about, but I awoke, and when I awoke, I was panicking. My heart was like going like a million miles an hour, and I just was like, I'm gonna die. And then the other side of me was like, Chelsea, you are not going to die. And then I was like, I'm gonna die. My heart is gonna explode. It was just going that fast. And then the other side of me was like, Chelsea, you're not gonna die, just breathe. So I'm like, I'm just laying there in bed, and I'm staring at the ceiling, and I'm thinking I'm gonna die. I'm thinking my heart is gonna explode. And I just about convinced myself that my heart is not gonna explode, when all of a sudden I just feel like this, just let out this huge, enormous, it was a big fart. It just came right out of me. It was just like, and I wasn't like a normal fart where it was just like, or like something like that. Like I literally felt all of the gases in my body just, and in that moment, I thought, I've died because I remember that when you die, you poop yourself. You poop your pants, no matter what's happening to you. You die and you poop. And so I thought that was, maybe I didn't have anything inside me, and maybe that was my death poop. And I got really scared. I got so scared that I was dying. And then I swear I was lying in bed, and I felt myself floating up into the air. And I grabbed onto Tim, and Tim woke up, and Tim was like, what was wrong? But I was so scared about my death part that I couldn't even speak. Nothing could come out of my mouth. I was so scared. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just going through a thing. But I was going through a thing last week, and I was going through a thing the month before that. I just feel like I am always going through a thing. And I don't want to go through a thing anymore. I'm done going through things. Okay. On to the next thing. All right. So I've got this business going. Thank you, Derek, for plugging my business. Woo. I got this new business I started, and people are starting to notice. So people want to talk to me about it. And somebody recently got in touch with me, and he wanted to talk to me about it. He wanted to interview me about it. So he emailed me and told me this, and I just called him back. I didn't prepare. I was not prepared. I just talked to this person, and he wrote an article about me. He wrote an article and I read it. I found it. Okay, long story short, I only knew I was in an article because somebody tried to sell me a plaque of me in the article, and then I zoomed in real close and I read the article. And so I started reading it, and everything that this person wrote about me, he had my background, he had all that, and I'm reading it and I'm starting to tear up because it feels like this is one of the more important things that's going to happen to me ever. Like somebody who wanted to talk to me and then wrote about it for other people to read, so I'm reading it, and I'm feeling very moved, and my partner is there, and he's like, let's go outside. And so I walk outside, and the dogs are there, and it's a nice day, and there are 2 Adirondack chairs, and I'm reading it out loud, and my partner, oh gosh. Anyway, back to the story. My partner, he like goes to sit down in a chair, and I'm thinking, and I'm reading this out loud, and I'm thinking like, now he's gonna propose, like, and so he didn't. He just sat down. So and that was fine. In the moment, that was fine, because I just felt like, that's okay, I'm riding this other big moment, and the dogs were there, and they were like, oh, wagging. I really thought it would have been fitting had I'm frozen, and I'm frozen. Am I unfrozen?
You're unfrozen.
I froze at the peak of the story. I was building up to the story. No, I'm glad you told me. Everyone at home. Meta humor. No, but here's the reality of it, okay? I'm reading it, and I thought, now is my time. This is where I say the most profound thing I have ever said in my life, because it felt like it was leading up to that. And I read it, and it was just me. It was just me saying my thing like I normally do, being myself like I normally am. And I was disappointed. I think I thought I was going to say something that I didn't, but I did, and I guess I just think that there's some connection between that moment and the big fart that I had a couple nights ago while I was having a panic attack in my room, like there's some sort of connection, and I don't know what it is, but I wanted to tell you all both those stories. Thanks. Thank you. No, but really, I think that, moments, sometimes they seem like they're going to be big, and they seem like they're going to define us. And sometimes they just fall flat. Sometimes you think like, this is it. This is my moment to die. Or like, this is my moment to shine. And it's just not. And what time is it? I'm curious to know how long this set has been, because all right, I'm going to keep going. All right. Well, my point is that things don't always happen the way that we anticipate that they're going to happen. And sometimes that's a very good thing. And sometimes it is not a very good thing. And our expectations and our predictions aren't going to help us appreciate the moments we're already in and aren't prepared for. And those moments can be just as important and just as profound as the moments that we wish happened to us, or that we're waiting to happen to us. Thanks. See, I was anticipating something was going to happen right there, and it did. So sometimes it happens. Sometimes your dreams come true. Yeah. Sometimes they do. Yes, sometimes they do. All right, so I'm going to tell you some jokes now. Okay. All right, here we go. Here are my jokes. Who'd they model the foot after? Bigfoot? Thank you. Okay. Mm. I got a haircut recently. You'd never know if you didn't know me. Okay. I just heard someone in the audience say, "That's so stupid." It is stupid, okay? These are my jokes. Thank you. All right, so long story short, I don't want a chip in my brain. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave you. I actually have no clue. How much is this set? Is my set almost done? I'm asking Alex. He doesn't know. He's going. He's right there. He doesn't know. All right. Well, here's a mantra for you if you need one. This is one I came up with. Am I even looking into the camera? I keep looking at this little green light. This is not my phone. This is not my phone. Am I looking, Alex, am I looking into the camera? Okay, everyone. Hi. Justin says yes. Okay. Okay, here's some mantras for you. Okay. It's okay if other people find you insufferable. Okay. Some people might need to hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. And also, no one besides you really cares whether or not you're crazy. I think. Oh, I changed someone's life. Was that Mirage? It's Mirage. I love you, Mirage. Okay. Here's the end. I have not prepared an ending, but I am prepared to end this set. Thank you very much.
Yes, Chelsea.
Thank you.
We're of the opinion here at Stonefish Studios and TV Stonefish Presents that Chelsea Lembo is slowly creating a new genre of comedy that somehow becomes a little bit more mainstream every time she does a live performance, and that someday, by the time she's headlining, huge events at the On Center, people will be talking like, "Oh man, I saw her when she was on like a Zoom thing back in 2021." Thank you all again for spending your evening with us. I hope you're all doing well at home. If you're in Syracuse, how about this weather? My God. Flurries have stopped.
It is definitely some weather, Derek.
There's definitely some weather. I would like to tell you just a little bit about our next performer. You may have heard of his critically acclaimed screenplay, Mutually Assured Destruction, or his sequel, Mad 2 Mad TV, coming soon to theaters near you. You may have heard of his critically acclaimed sketch comedy group, Westchester. It's making waves, I've been told. Yeah. I first met Alex DiRienzo. We went to college together, and I think both of our impressions of one another were like, this guy really likes Dragon Ball Z a lot, and that's still pretty much my opinion of him. He is honestly instrumental to the success of this evening because he has been our tech guy figuring out how to stream using OBS to YouTube. So if anything goes wrong, it's him fucking up. Yeah. No one else. That's true. Please join me in welcoming to the stage. He's my dad. He's yours. Alex DiRienzo.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Is this ring light new? This is nice. I'm glad that I can't see myself fully. So yeah, I mean, let's give it up for Derek, actually. I mean, Derek, this class. See, this is how you do an intro for a good friend. So yeah, I mean, Derek, this class has just been awesome. I mean, one of my favorite things actually about taking this class was that I learned how to live stream. You know, so we're actually, you know, using my setup tonight. So if you're watching this on my Pornhub Live channel, I know you're probably pretty confused right now, but you know, just go with it. Give us a chance. You know, those other videos will still be here after we're done. You know, come for the comedy, stay for the cum. Yeah. The other thing that happened with this class was I started a Twitter account, which is the most boomer thing I've said all day. Besides, oh, that new Joe Rogan podcast. What an eye-opener. So it's not even that I'm like tech illiterate, you know, I'm in the hard position of being a nerd who hates social media, which talk about an intellectual dark web. Everybody thinks I'm a dick, including me. I mean, look, maybe I am one of those people, but you know, at least I wasn't online when we memed the presidency into existence or a 4-hour-long cut of the Justice League. So my conscience is clean. Although, to be fair, like the cringiest thing I have done online, it's pretty cringy, was in 2012, I started a change.org petition to legally change the name of my friend's newborn child from Todd to Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. So, I mean, yeah, no, it's not, it's mostly real. What's weird though is that, you know, we're still short on the signatures apparently. I mean, I find that frankly impossible to believe. So we started an investigation and rest assured we will stop the steal. We're gonna stop the steal, okay? Just trust the plan. But you know, I guess I'm also woefully underprepared. Just like, what are my bits? But I guess, you know, Twitter's not all that bad. I mean, I personally think it's very hilarious that we've moved from, you know, canceling people, like real people, to canceling cartoon characters. Because like, I mean, look, I get it when you cancel a person, they have to deal with like the fallout and the consequences of their actions. But like, Pepe Le Pew's never going to hear about his cancellation. I mean, you know, it's just funny because like, but I like to imagine scenarios where like he does have to deal with it. Like there's just a knock on his door one day and Pepe opens it and it's the big red monster that chases Bugs Bunny around, handing him a subpoena. He opens it up and he's just like, "Sacre bleu, I've been Me Too'd. Oh, that Ronan Farrow thinks he can take Pepe down? Not today. Call my lawyer." And then the big red monster just turns to the camera and goes, "It's a living." And look, by the way, everybody just needs to calm down about Pepe being canceled from Space Jam 2. He's not canceled, he's just a free agent this year. I heard he's gonna sign with the Knicks soon. I mean, look, I get why they cut Pepe Le Pew out. Quite frankly, I didn't think they would replace him with Pepe the Frog. It didn't seem like the most sensitive choice, but you know, if anybody knows their racist frogs, it's Warner Brothers. So I'm sure that'll go well. But you know, the thing is, like, if I just joined one of these things or like two of them, I probably would have had a better chance. But like, I just joined all of them, and now it's like frankly overwhelming. I mean, I joined TikTok, Bumble, OnlyFans. Although in my case, it's just OnlyFan. And thanks for the support, Graham. Graham, your used panties are in the mail. And look, I don't even know why I joined this stuff. I mean, I'm 33. What am I trying to achieve? Success? I mean, that's long gone. Look, people tell me, man, look, you just haven't figured out your brand yet. No, I have. It's people who have anxiety and eat too much cake. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? What unique insights can I offer my followers? Like, hey, everybody, welcome to my... Hey, everybody. I'll do a take two on that. I'm editing this for post. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna find out just how many downward facing dogs you have to do in order to balance out that little Caesars you ate for breakfast. It's 400. Namaste. I mean, what am I gonna do? Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Maybe that's why my friends bitch about slowing down in their 30s, and I don't. It's just, I've just never been in shape. Just like not once. I mean, some people would say that the gun is the great equalizer, but no, it's trans fats. It's not even that I like go out of my way to be unhealthy. I just have this like, try anything once philosophy. It's being an addict. That's what it is. But like, I'm not addicted to anything cool, like lean or Xanax or all that stuff that kills SoundCloud rappers. It's just, I'm just doing a bunch of little lame shit that's slowly going to kill me over time. Like I bought a Juul last week. Why? I've tried 50 electronic cigarettes. All they do is give me a headache or explode while I'm charging them. But to be fair, I wasn't actually going in for the Juul. My original choice was I always wanted to try snus, because I've never had nicotine, injected right into my gum line. So I was like, this might be a unique experience. I'm gonna try it. And I went up to the guy at the gas station, and he was like, I was like, hey, you have any snus? And he was like, oh, no, man, we're all out. And I was like, hey, no, I get it. Snooze, you lose.
You got booed.
By one of my best friends. I would just smoke weed. Okay. I mean, it's legal now in New York, which is great and everything, but yeah, that won't get booed. Not here. I mean, look, anybody notice though that like the vibe of weed has changed? Like it's gotten a little bit too aggressive for my taste. Like these names, they just kind of stand out and don't put you at ease, which is kind of why you smoke in the first place. Like AK-47 was already kind of pushing it, but now we have strains like Alaskan take two. But now we have strains like Alaskan Thunderfuck and Death Star. I mean, the Death Star blew up planets. I'm trying to get high, not Alderaan high. And Alaskan Thunderfuck just sounds like the townie nickname for Sarah Palin. It's either that or like the names are they're just getting too silly. Like they just run out of ideas and they're like, oh, fuck it, they'll buy it, they're high. Like, seriously, it's getting ridiculous. Like, how can you even say that some of these, you can't even say some of these strains without getting douche bumps. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, douche bumps, great body high. It's a killer strain. Like, I get it. I mean, weed doesn't need to be taken seriously. But, I mean, you try going to a dispensary and asking for some of this shit. Like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'd like an eighth of the Kenny G13, some super lemon party. That's going to taste delicious. And, a little bit of Johnny Mnemonic Chronic. Yes. Like, okay, sir, with tax, that comes to $850. Will that be cash or NFT? I mean, that is going to be the downside of state-sponsored drug use, is that the taxes here are just going to be insane. But you might say, but Alex, you're getting your money's worth. It's lab tested. Where? What lab? A lab? I mean, I have a Mr. Wizard chemistry set. Do I have a lab? But Alex, this shit is tailor-made. These strains, they've got them for everything. Any activity you want to do, it'll boost it, including chores. Like, no, seriously, it's on Leafly right now. Like, there are strains to help you do chores. And like, what do? You go up to the counter and go like, oh yeah, can I get a quarter of lifting up my couch to vacuum under it? Yeah, I haven't smoked that in like 5 years. Oh, and you know what? Can you throw in an edible that'll make me feel like recalking my shower tiles? I mean, like, you get back from the dispensary. I mean, like, where does this all end? You get back from the dispensary and your buddy's like, oh, hey, man, you're back. So what are we smoking this weekend? And you're like, oh, man, I got some Blue Dream, some Blue Eyes White Dragon, and some Blue Dabu Dee Dabu Die. Oh, come on, man. We're supposed to help my cousin move tomorrow, not go to the Shadow Realm. Oh, shit. Sorry, I just got a push notification on my phone. Oh shit. It looks like Twitter just canceled Miss Frizzle for her stance on iguanas' rights. Whoa, I gotta go jump on this trend. Good that I smoke all that blue. Take two. I gotta hop on this trend. Good thing I smoked all that blue check mark. How do I bomb on the last? That is the worst face. Oh well, fuck it.
Woo!
Great.
In the worst of all possible universes.
So good.
Something I love about Alex is that he
So good.
is genuinely concerned about the multiverse theory. And no, this is
I've already done this. I've already done my thing.
no, but there was a universe in which like you didn't bomb. So just
We have to do the Doctor Strange and go.
I love
That's
Doctor
right, that's
Strange.
right.
Sorry. I really love Doctor
Our next
Strange.
performer.
It's a thing.
You may have heard of our next performer based on her sketch comedy, recently featured on Scott Dixon's Comedy Hour on 95X, Syracuse listeners. You may have met our next performer at Upstate Hospital, where she is currently an employee. Upstate, represent my alma mater. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, dude. I'm just gonna back slowly away off of the stage while she takes on.
Okay. All right. I don't know who can hear me right now. So if anybody in the chat can give me a thumbs up because I didn't have Alex here to berate me and help me with my technical difficulties. All right, Justin Baker, you're a pal. Thank you, friend. Hopefully you don't work at Upstate. And hopefully no one who works with me knows the rest of my set. Fuck my life. All right. So hey guys, I'm Minnie. Anyone out there who has a common phobia of dental issues, I advise you log off now because the tale I'm about to tell you is going to suck immensely for anyone who has fears of going to the dentist because I will make sure you never. Thank everybody. Thanks for letting me know you can hear. So the tale that I'm going to tell is going to ruin going to the dentist for all of you forever. I'm hoping that I'm far away from the camera, but just to give you a close up of something sexual. Oh yeah, take it all in, guys. I thought I wanted to move to Canada, not look like one of the hockey players for the Vancouver Canucks. And here I am. So I want to preface this by saying prior to this, I enjoyed going to the dentist. I was a weird child who thought of it as an appropriate form of self-care. And I thought that it was cool that they would like tell you shitty jokes while you couldn't respond back to them. Like you're like, oh, that's really funny. Yeah, and you got gauze all in your mouth. Because then at the end you got a prize, you got a reward. And I'm into behavioral therapy. And so if you reward me with treats and prizes, I'll keep coming back. And so this whole time I thought that that was the only way that you could get a toothbrush and dental floss if you went to the dentist, because I grew up poor. And so I thought that that was what you got. And that was the only way that you could get that if you went to the dentist. But yeah, so recently I went in for what was supposed to be a simple extraction of having my front tooth removed to get braces. I didn't do this like, oh, you know what? I got too many teeth. Let's just yank one of those out of there. I did this because I was following doctor's orders. And so, I was pretty nervous about the procedure because who wouldn't be, right? Like you're getting a part of your face ripped out. And so before going into the dentist's office though, I was in the car and I actually like said goodbye to my tooth. Like I pulled down the plastic visor with the mirror in it. And I was like, goodbye, little buddy. You've been such a pal. And I wish you the best out there. But then my fucking intuition came in like, ding, ding. Well, this is part of the ding, ding. Hey there, darling. I've seen into the future, and I reckon you don't want them to go messing around with your pretty little face because they're fixing to make a mess out of it. How about you just stay here in the car with your dude, babe, and you enjoy some nice sweet tea and maybe a little bit of ice cream, and maybe get yourself some sugar, because I'm predicting a long dry spell after this here procedure. So why don't you just sit tight and no, you're gonna go in. You're not gonna listen to me. I tried to warn you. No, you're gonna go in again. Guys, this bitch just does not learn. And no, this bitch did not fucking learn. And so into the dentist office I go, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna just sit back and relax, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I'm laying in the chair, and there was this really nice, you know how when you're in the dentist office, there's always that like sidekick technician who's there to basically hold you down so you don't run out of the fucking room. That bitch should have held harder. So I'm laying in the chair, and she's like, oh, it's gonna be fine, you'll be okay, don't worry about it. And as I'm laying there, I look over and I see the tools on the table, and I shit you not, they got this shit from fucking Lowe's, because there was a flathead screwdriver and a wrench that they clearly had just gotten done working on a car in the parking lot with. Like, these were not tools I wanted to go in my face. And so I'm like, all right, it's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Just inhale the positive, exhale the negative. Fun fact, that shit don't work when they're about to rip a tooth out of your face. And so I'm laying there trying not to freak the fuck out. And I'm like and as they're like using this flathead screwdriver to like pry my tooth out, I'm trying to like, okay, you're at a beach. You're not here in this dental chair. You're at a beach. And the pain that you feel is not from them ripping out a tooth. It is just from the sun beating down on your pale, pale skin. And like, as this is happening, the dentist is moving my face back and forth and back and forth. And then she came up from behind and grabbed me at the back of my head and went back and forth and back and forth. And apparently I should have been on Alex's YouPorn page for the head that it looked like I was giving to this woman. And I was like, if you wanted head, you should have just asked. But no. And so, like, as they're doing this, all of a sudden I hear a and past my face goes flying a piece of my tooth. I warned you all that if you have any dental fears, you should have opted out earlier, because this is just the beginning of a 3-part miniseries. So the tooth goes flying past my face, and the look of sheer horror in the technician's eyes, I knew I was fucked. Darling, I told you were fucked in the parking lot, but you did not listen. Fuck you, intuition, I know. Well, I tried to say, you're not helping me right now. And so now I'm purely panicking in the chair, but I'm trying to not let them know I'm panicking. So I'm like reaching into my arm and pinching myself to try to redirect the pain, because that's the only appropriate time to engage in self-harm. And so I'm like pinching myself to try to not faint. And after like another half an hour of this, and the dentist is like running around the room trying to grab new tools, and I'm trying not to faint, she comes over to me and she goes, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna need to refer you to an oral surgeon. And at this point, I'm like, don't you fucking cry, Minnie, don't you fucking cry. Don't you dare let them know that they have hurt you in any way. Don't you fucking, you are strong and powerful. Don't you let them know that they fucking hurt you. At least ask for that tooth. No, you get that tooth from them. You bring that shit home, because those are your stem cells. And you are going to use those stem cells in the future for your Alzheimer's that you're definitely going to get from all the fucking weed you smoke. Get your fucking stem cells and get the fuck out of here. No, Mitchell, don't get those tooth. And I did ask for the tooth. Like, I straight up was like, gushing blood, and I was like, can I at least have the tooth? And they told me no, they would not give me my own fucking tooth that they have now broken in half. And I was like, I was a mess. I was a fucking mess. I was crying, I was hyperventilating, because my dumbass did not consider how awful my face was going to look with one of my main front teeth missing. And then I didn't realize that I was going for the Tom Cruise tooth look, because apparently like having one tooth right in the center is the Tom Cruise deal. And I'm like, fuck me. Yeah, I learned this the other day, and now I'm like, great, now I look like fucking Tom Cruise, and I'm going to be just as crazy. Fantastic. And so I'm like trying to mentally process the vanity of all of this and the fact that I'm in so much pain, and I should have fucking cried. Like, if I cried, maybe they would have given me painkillers. Instead, they told me to go home and try some ibuprofen. Did any of what you all just heard sound like a job for ibuprofen? No. So I leave there and I go now phase 2 onto the surgeon. And I get there, and prior to the surgeon, I learned a very fun fact that if you enjoy the Mary Jane, you will not enjoy dental care, because apparently marijuana negatively infects the neurotransmitters that are affected by the Novocaine that they put in your mouth. So they had to give me 6 shots of Novocaine just to numb this bitch up. So before I get into the surgeons, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a good little student, and I'm going to tell the surgeon that I need extra Novocaine because I like to smoke weed, and now you've taken that from me, and I will have no way to manage any of this pain. So I tell him, and he's like, thank you, we needed to know that. And then they gave me some laughing gas. And that was the last time I felt joy. No, it really was the last time I felt joy. I was just reminiscing on the last time I ever fucking felt joy. And so I'm laying there, and they're starting to, the laughing gas is starting to hit me, and I'm starting to imagine that I'm dancing with like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Inception, and I'm like going back and forth with Leo. And as I'm having that image in my mind, the fucking surgeon says, oh wait, he's dancing with me. And he's fucking referencing the nerve that he's trying to dance out of my face. But my mind interpreted it as a young Leonardo DiCaprio. And so I'm thinking now in my lucid state, holy fucking shit, I've had the spirit of Leonardo DiCaprio living in my face this whole fucking time. God damn it. Girl, I told you not to do this. Fuck you, intuition, I know. And so as they're lifting out the nerve, I'm like thinking to myself, I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. Come back. Come back, Jack. Come back. Because the pain that transpired, I believe, is equal to the pain that Rose felt that day on the Titanic. Because I will never let go of the emotional trauma of this whole tooth nightmare, my tooth tragedy. So I get done with my tooth tragedy. So I get done with this phase of the voyage. And again, I ask if I can keep any of the tooth, and they're like, nah, bitch. I also then asked if I could have any pain medication, and they were like, no, just have some ibuprofen. So I get home, and I'm like, I'm doing okay for like 20 minutes tops. And I get home, and then everything starts to like wear off, and I start to feel this pain come down from the top of my head through my body, like it was summoned by Zeus to fight Cronus, the tooth crown god. Fun fact, Zeus's number one hated person was Cronus. And I Googled it. And so I'm like rocking back and forth, which my boyfriend should have taken advantage of me making that motion, because again, dry spell. And so I'm like losing my fucking mind, and I'm punching shit, and I can't, and and they told me to wait an hour to take the ibuprofen because I needed to clot. So I'm like, how fucking long am I going to wait to get through this pain? And I've never had a child at this point in my life. So to all the women who have birthed life, I want to imagine that this was like a quarter of the amount of pain that you experienced. So I'm not trying to take away your pain, but this was a mega fuck ton freight train of pain. And so my boyfriend, he just never seen me like this before. So he calls the doctor. I'm like, sir, she's not okay. She's not okay. And the doctor's like, well, tell her to take some ibuprofen. Fuck you! Fuck you! You had the power. You had the fucking ability to give me hydrocodone, oxycodone, something with a fucking codone in it. No, she gave me nothing. Nothing. And I still want to die. Like, I think back on this and I'm just like, I wish I would have just died because the pain, because that was the beginning. That was the beginning, folks. We're on week 4. That was the fucking beginning of this. And I was like, just taking ibuprofen all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna follow doctor's orders because I'm so good. No, bitch, you should have fucking sang bloody hell. And plot twist, the pain I was feeling wasn't from the tooth pulling, but it was from phase 3, the infection. So we started with the inception of my tooth, and now we've moved on to the infection, to which, for our lovely comedic audience out there, I'm going to not tell you the next part of that because none of it was funny, and I've yet to figure out how to make that humorous. So what started out as me trying to improve my smile by getting a tooth removed to make room for braces has turned into the total collapse of my sanity, coming full frontal face version of the vanity that I have. But y'all, it's all good because I'm so ruthless and toothless that I'm now going to go on and get braces on my face and I have to deal with that pain. So the moral of this story is, I don't know if there's a moral or a punchline. Actually, the punchline happened to my face. That's the punchline, is my fucking face at this point. So please send me all of your thoughts, your prayers. If you ever lose a tooth, please save it because there are stem cells in there. Don't smoke marijuana before any dental care, and get like a 3rd or 4th or 5th opinion before you let them take a bone out of your face. That's it. That's the end. It wasn't really a joke. It was just a really long, sad story.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep it going for Minnie Mitch. Minnie Mitch. Follow Minnie Mitch on social media. I actually have what I think might be half, not the whole thing, but of your tooth, Minnie. I can connect with you if you need this. This is my attempt at prop comedy. I don't know. This is our next performer. You may have heard of him. I don't know why you may have heard of him, but you may have heard of him. Jake Ellison is a great friend of mine. Jake spent several years studying comedy, actually, in Chicago, that hotbed of American comedy, before returning to his hometown of Syracuse, that hotbed of American comedy, as we are making it right here, right now. Jake actually is a multi-talented person. He offered, when we realized that YouTube would hunt us down with copyright law if we tried to play intro and outro music between these sets, offered to play Wonderwall, and then realized that he only knew the first 2, really like 1.5 chords of Wonderwall. But I still really wanted just that bit in between each. So after we finish up the evening, we may get to hear if he's feeling up to it. He's one of my best friends. I love him dearly. I know you all love him too. Give it up, everybody, for Jake Ellison.
Yeah, Jake. Jake whipped for all those who couldn't see it. He didn't even hit him with
I
the
know.
glove.
And then, I mean, some days you just think you're gonna get it all back. Anybody been to a dentist recently?
Yeah. Yeah.
I stepped out of the last set. Hope it went well, Minnie. In case anybody at home's confused, I'm not Alex with hair.
Grunge is dead, Jimmy.
Nobody in this room is paying attention to me. They're all self-medicating. Awesome. Well, thank you to the 20 people out there who have made it through 15 minutes of amateur comedy.
Oh!
So you've made it this far. And I'm sorry that this is all you're going to get. In a very sincere way, thank you to Mirage and Huey, everybody at Huey Stonefish Productions, to Derek. Big kudos to everybody involved. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I muted you, dude.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's better for everybody. Man, I don't know. We'll just get into it. I turned 30 this year. I turned 30 this year in our quarantine year. It's great. You know, it just leaves you a lot of time to think about, you know, where your life is going, what your life is doing. I know that might be surprising to some people that I'm 30 because I look and dress like I'm the kid in shop class who was a little bit too into the soldering iron. But earpods, Brandon. No, but 30 just feels like one of those kind of reflective number birthdays, right? A round number, like that there's like this pressure to move on from all the stuff that I was doing in my 20s, like all those 20-something habits, like I should be more mature, or something, you know, like I feel like I shouldn't be giving myself hemorrhoids because I stayed too long on the toilet playing Game Boy. That's the kind of stuff I'm just trying to get away from. I mean, but some of us still got to catch them all. I don't know. So I've just been a little bit more reflective lately, but struggling, you know, because I never really had a picture of where my life was going to go after 25. Some kids I knew they wanted to be doctors or actors or, you know, YouTubers. But I didn't. I don't mean this in like a fatalistic way. I just had kind of like a blank void after my 25th, 23rd birthday where the rest of my life should have been and didn't know what I was going to do with it. You know, or what I wanted to do when I got older. It was just a blank void where the only thing I figured I could look forward to was I'd get to rent a car, develop a drinking problem, and learn the hard way how much a Plan B pill costs. I mean, you show a 24-year-old something that costs $69.99. That's not a Call of Duty game. That's gonna, you know, you'll get a little more dexterous in the vinegar strips. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, clearly, you know, 30. Clearly, just by looking at me, you can tell it's going well. I look like the after photo from one of those feel-good stories where they shave a veteran and put a business suit on him and take him to a business interview. Yeah, just a feel-good story. That's what I'm. Cosmetically, you know, I might look okay, but I'm just a walking manifestation of all my 30 years of trauma and self-sabotage. You know, yeah. Just never really had a good picture of what 30 was going to be. I just didn't think homeless veteran chic was going to be the vibe.
Homeless veteran chic is dead, Jake.
It's
Dead.
It never should have started. That's a political joke. I'm not going to go in there. I don't know. People in this room might disagree with me. 30 hasn't been all bad though. I've been learning a lot of new things about myself this year. As I get older, you know, they're like these big, like shining, like you want to know moments. Like the music plays, a shooting star goes across the sky. You know, like pew, your parents like asking you for money. Pew, Plan B still costs how much? Pew, you get dizzy when you poop now. I live alone. I didn't realize until I experienced that was the number one way I did not want to leave this earth. Oh man. I'm sorry. I don't know, but trying to age gracefully, gracefully, you know, gracefully. I'm just try. I'm feeling like I'm getting a better appreciation for some things. You know, some things I feel like I understand a little bit more now. I understand MILFs now. Yeah. MILFs, say it with me, people in the room. Moms, I there we go. Thank you. That's crowd interaction. Y'all did it. Great job. Yeah, MILFs, which is a phrase that people from my generation recognize from a film series called American Pie, and from absolutely nowhere else, no other mediums does that word exist. I'm kidding. I don't really mean to say that I appreciate MILFs in like a porny way. Like, it's out. Don't give me that word. You're the one with the channel. No, not in a porny way. I just think, you know, the more that I see myself attracted to older women, they all have kids, and I just think that level of responsibility is sexy. You know, let me know about your mommy's comfort camp.
Yeah.
Hot set. I'm not saying this in a way that I dated women with children or like I'm a DILF. I've never interacted with a MILF in that way. I don't know. There's people on the other side of this. There's people out there who know where my paychecks come from. I might not have one anymore. Never interacted. I just think maybe I just think maybe my tastes are maturing, if that's, you know, the phrase we want to use, or in that porn is unrealistic. But, show me the honest MILF porn, and I might be a subscriber. You know, you know, like I just think it's more that single MILF energy is something I want in my life. Somebody who's not going to take my nonsense. Somebody who still appreciates, you know, that somebody in their life might really appreciate a Kinder. Yeah, I don't know. Just because I think like I'm moving out of that phase of dating people who are really kind of in that full-on 20-something lifestyle, and I just don't have it in me to care about another MLM. Like I don't. There's too many types. There's too many nail brands. I don't. Wow, that's joke bombed for the entire room. Okay. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm trying to like wrap up the whole night into a big button, because you get Yael and you went straight, you know, COVID bell curve right down to where you get me. But I hope you've all appreciated your comedians tonight. Another big thanks to Mirage and Huey. I don't know if that's my time, but that's what you're gonna get. So thank you.
All right.
Keep it going for Jake, and one more time, everybody, for all our performers tonight. I want to give just a moment to shout out to someone very special, the instructor of all 3 levels of Killing with Comedy, the entire curriculum. She's my comedy mentor. She's my teacher. She's someone who's inspired me to become really invested in this community and building up the comedy scene. Please join me in welcoming, as she unmutes her video, which I think she can, Mirage Trans, everyone.
Yeah! Yay! Hooray! Oh my gosh, I'm so proud and happy to like see this show finally come about. I just feel like so connected to everyone. We've gone through the whole pandemic together. And now, y'all, I think Republicans say it's over. So get to kissing, I guess. We are all like, I am so proud of the journey that we've taken, and that y'all have taken my style and believed in it, and we've gotten to be this family, and I'm just looking forward to taking over the world with all of you. So
Oh, yeah.
love you all. This is a group that I really, really have grown to love, and I mean sincerely love, and I mean like kind of psycho stalker love. So I really, really, really feel that connection. I'm looking forward so much to see what you do. It's just amazing. That's all I wanted to say. Love you guys.
Mirage, everyone. Mirage.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mirage.
Yes, Mirage.
So much love. So much love. I'm going to, before we jump off this call, let someone in who's been waiting in the waiting room. Learning so much about Zoom today. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the offerings that we have coming up. If you are interested in doing this kind of work, learning how to develop your voice, learning how to write material and jokes, learning how to edit your own material. Better material, says Jake. We will be offering another stand-up Film with Comedy curriculum later on this summer, taught by our very own Mirage Graham. But in the meantime, we have some really cool things coming up. I already mentioned Chris Provador's sketch comedy class beginning April 18th, running for 8 weeks. Concurrently and moving into the summer, we have 2 more offerings: improv for teens and everybody can improvise for older adults. These are sort of tailored improv curriculums that we will bring to different locations. We can do it on Zoom or once things begin to open up, perhaps in person. We're still figuring that out. But it is a sort of an experiment in bringing improv to anyone to build life skills that are, I think, very integral and very important to be learned from improvisational exercise. If you have questions about any of that programming or about the work that we do here at Huey Stonefish Presents and Stonefish Studios, you can email me, Derek Powell, dpt@gmail.com. Give me a call, find us online, hueystonefish.com. Thank you all so much for coming. I love
Let's
each and
hear
every
it for Derek. Let's hear it for Derek Powell. He's the one who keeps everything together. He's the one. He's the heartbeat of the whole thing. This is Derek.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. Much love to you all. Wow. That didn't turn on any of the lights. That still didn't work.